Hey everybody, Justin Cena here. I'm making this video to get you hyped up about the great opportunity that's in Shopify right now. Shopify and print on demand, Shopify and drop shipping, Shopify and any no inventory product. Best business model that's out there right now, and there's massive upside. I mean, you can go through my free group, Senior E-commerce Mastermind. You'll find tons of screenshots, testimonials from all these different students and entrepreneurs that are just absolutely crushing it. I've got a bunch of stores, got a bunch of client stores and tons of student stores that are just absolutely crushing it. And Shopify is one of the best opportunities that's out there. I mean, there's tons of upside. You can, especially with these no inventory products, you can go from basically just starting to finding a winning product to scaling into 3, 4, 5 figures pretty quickly and even beyond. The upside is tremendous. And really, there's lots of different kind of ways to get there. Obviously, scaling is kind of the million-dollar question, right? How do we scale the business? How do we take something that's working and really explode it, right? How do we take something that's working? And Scaling 101 says when you have something that works, show it to more similar people or do more of the same. So how do we take something and actually expand it? Well, one of the most popular ways, obviously, is scaling your ads. And I've been, I think at the forefront of scaling. I have so many different scaling strategies in my bootcamp and have helped my students in so many different ways in terms of scaling. And I've seen all the different ways to do it. And a lot of the time, it has to do with spending more on ads. And that's a really direct way to scale. When you think about it, if you have a business that's doing something good, especially if you have paid traffic, and a lot of us are using paid ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads to run our traffic. When our ads are working well, we want it to work even better. We want to have more of it, right? Again, scaling 101, when something works, do more of the same. So when our ads are working, let's spend more money on it, right? We need to put more cash onto it because we have something that's working. And I always say scaling is your reward, right? Like a lot of people say, I'm scared to scale. I don't want to risk the money. But think of it this way, right? You're only scaling when you have a product that people are buying or something that's working, right? You have leads coming in or products being sold or services being sold, whatever it is, you want to scale that up and do more, okay? Well, if you have something that works, it's great to invest in it, right? Think about if you're in the stock market and you had hindsight, right? You could say, okay, I could invest and go back in time and I just saw the last year and I saw that Apple increased 200%, right? And then you go back in time and you invest at that point. That's what scaling is like. You're not putting money blindly. You're not investing money and hoping that it's working. You're saying, okay, I already have something that works. I know it's working. I see my own stats. I'm making money from it, or I'm generating leads, or I'm signing contracts, or making partnerships. Whatever the action is, it's working. I want it to work more. Of course, you're going to invest in that, right? Hindsight is 20/20. We already know it's working, so we're going to spend more money on it. So investing in what's working, always going to pay off for you, and that's what scaling 101 is. But I would really be kind of hiding half the story if I wouldn't say that there are some challenges, not necessarily risks, but challenges to going about scaling. And, I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit scary. It is a little bit pressuring to put more money on the line on your ads and on your products. But again, you're doing this with hindsight. You're already knowing that these products are working. So it really comes down to cash flow management. It's how are you going to be able to spend your money in the right place for scaling? And that's what this video is about. Now, if you're asking yourself questions like, do I have the right cash flow? Do I have enough to scale? Do I have enough to cover my expenses or my product costs? Typical question that a lot of people are going to ask themselves in this business, especially when you're scaling. And that's why I want to introduce you to Patrick. I know Patrick personally. I know him very well. And when it comes to cash flow for e-commerce, managing the cash flow, understanding the cash flow needs, no one does it better than Patrick. And I want to walk you through his Cashflow Catapult System. I'm going to exactly show you why you want to book this call and figure out exactly how you're going to make sure that you always have the proper cash flow so you never get stuck scaling. Now, before I walk you through the Cashflow Catapult System, I want to tell you a little bit about how I met Patrick. I met him through the e-commerce mastermind group, my free Facebook mastermind group, and he was always chiming in terms of valuable content when it came to managing cash flow and being able to scale effectively. And like I said, I consider myself one of the best at scaling, always trying to figure out how I can get a leg up on the competition and how I can really scale better than anyone else. So Patrick has been invaluable to me in that regard. He's got over 20 years experience. He's a traditional CFO. A lot of us in the e-commerce space or in the Shopify space, we don't necessarily have a CFO on our team or even envision the need for one. So he calls himself kind of a fractional CFO, or really what I've come to learn is like a freelance CFO, where he's going to be able to give you just a ton of information and really develop your skill set for managing cash flow. It's not just about kind of a side effect of how you do other things. You should be thoughtfully managing your cash flow at every step of the process, even at the start. So, kind of all the tips that he was giving me and giving all his other clients, he kind of developed into this Cashflow Catapult system. And I want to walk you through specifically why this matters for e-commerce businesses. And you see the link below this video, but it's right up here as well. Cashflowcatapultsystem.com/ecom, 2 M's up there. And again, this is exclusively for e-commerce businesses, something that Patrick put together that has just been working for a while. So again, call to action here, 30-minute free phone call, no obligation. I guarantee you're going to learn a lot just by booking this call and probably learning a lot of things that you didn't know beforehand. Now, I want to tell you this story first, and this is kind of the story that hooked me into the system. And, you could replace this person with yourself or any other Shopify entrepreneur. But, long story short, basically a Shopify entrepreneur, or, it could be any e-commerce platform, basically found themselves in some hot water with the IRS, right? Some tax problems. And really nothing was, done purposefully. Or really there was nothing that was hidden. There was nothing shady at all is what I'm trying to say. Totally, an innocent error that she made. But the IRS doesn't care. Obviously, they're going to go after regardless. And Patrick was able to kind of come in here and immediately clean that up. So, being able to work with the IRS, while you might not have an IRS problem yourself, just kind of goes to speak to the quality of the content that you're going to see in here, the skill that Patrick brings to the table in terms of these cash flow needs. And, a lot of times when it comes down to, in this specific instance, paying your taxes is another cash flow issue, right? You get hit with those quarterly taxes or however you're filing your taxes, you need to make sure you have the money to cover that. And that just has to do with cash flow, just like scaling does. So that's just one specific example. But really, as I scroll back up here, this is kind of who the system is for. Right? You run an Amazon, you're running Shopify, you're running e-commerce on really any platform, you're going to have cash flow needs, scaling, products, right? And Amazon and Shopify might have their own separate problems. Think about on Amazon, right? Less about advertising, more about product cash flow, right? How are you going to get your next shipment into Amazon while waiting for your payouts to come in and having your refunds and returns taken out, right? That's a cash flow issue. You own a Shopify store and you have a product that's winning and you want to scale it, right? But you don't have the available cash to do it. That's a cash flow issue, right? The worst thing that could happen with Shopify is you find a winning product and you can't scale because you don't have the cash to do it, right? And I don't mean cold hard cash sitting in your bank account. There are other ways to do it as well. And obviously Patrick's going to walk you through that. Credit cards are, one specific example of many. But, basically, like I was saying, e-commerce, if you're an e-commerce business in general, right? And again, you could have different examples depending on what platform you're on. You have different cash flow needs, but every business has cash flow needs, right? Maybe you have issues with tax or payroll, right? Either way, cash flow need, right? Cash flow comes into a lot of things, and it's not a sexy thing that you're going to see in courses or anything like that. It's kind of, a background thing that happens while you're running your business, and you could either ignore it or you could take control of it with the Cashflow Catapult system. And that's why I'm describing it here. That's why I'm recommending it. That's why I use it. And I've really consulted Patrick a lot to kind of make sure that I know what I want and I know what I need in terms of cash flow. So 3 reasons you should book a call with Patrick, apart from the great recommendation that I've already given and the testimonial that he's helped me personally. Number 1 metric is client results, right? Patrick is super focused on ROI, right? So we're going to be taking a look at how cash flow is going to increase your profit, right? We're not just managing cash flow to make sure that we avoid emergencies or have money in the bank for taxes or whatever. We're doing it to increase profit. This isn't just a clean up our mistakes type thing. This is a setting ourselves up for success type thing. That's what cash flow is about, right? He promises it's not a sales call. I can attest to that as well. I guarantee you're going to learn something that you haven't even known before. You're going to learn something. You're going to learn that you're going to have to learn things you've never heard of before on this call. I guarantee you that. And again, he's a typical CFO. Might go a little bit over our heads in terms of some of the things for accounting purposes, Shopify purposes. But either way, it's the expertise that you'll be able to lean on, even in this free 30-minute call, that's going to help you manage that cash flow. And number 3, and I think this is one that really goes with anything, any type of action with your business, nothing's going to change if you don't. Right? If you're unsuccessfully managing cash flow right now, if you're every single week running into issues of not being able to scale your ads or not being able to pay for your orders, right? Something needs to change. Let Patrick kind of walk you through the process. And again, 30-minute free call. You will get value out of this, right? Patrick's going to, of course, let you know about the details of the system as well. And you may or may not sign up. Like I said, I highly recommend it. But either way, book the 30-minute call. You're going to have your eyes opened to cash flow and the potential benefits and issues that arise from not managing it correctly. One more thing, and again, you see this link up here. It's below the video as well, cashflowcatapultsystem.com/ecom with 2 M's. 20% off discount Patrick's giving for any of the first 30 people in my group that sign up. So you get a little discount just for coming through eCommerce Mastermind, Senior eCommerce Mastermind. That's where I met Patrick originally anyway. So fitting to give my group members a nice 20% discount if you do decide to work with Patrick. But like I said, book that 30-minute free call. Plenty of openings that he has. All you need to do is click that big orange button right on this page. No one knows more about cash flow than Patrick. And I promise you, you're going to have your eyes open to really how it can help and how it can hurt you in the Shopify business. So really hope this helps you make some money, manage your cash flow better, and scale more effectively. And anytime you can improve your scaling, you're going to make more profit. So really hope this helps, and I'll talk to you real soon.